Hey, and welcome to Ready Set Drone. Today I have a Syma X9 flying car. Syma's tagline, as I've seen on some of their boxes, is your own space in the sky. But this one looks like you can have your own space in the sky and on the ground. So we're going to give this thing a look, test flight, test drive, and see what we can do with it. First of all, let's get the box open and see what's inside. I really like the Syma brand. The X5C is a great beginner copter. The X8C and X8W are both really cool for more advanced flyers. Looks like it comes with the box directions. And this is a pretty cool size for a little quadcopter. Comes with 4 spare props, I'm guessing, right here. And the standard looking Syma radio with these 2 little guys that seem to come with a lot of their stuff. I'm curious to see if this is compatible with other Syma products. I'm guessing it probably is, which is cool. And it looks like there's a battery pack attached down here to the bottom. Okay, it looks like the battery is a 3.7 volt, 600 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty tiny actually for this thing. Don't know if it comes with 1 or 2. Looks like we're going to need some double or triple A's for the remote control. I'll have to go take a look. And yeah, 3.7 volt, 600 milliamp hour battery. And this thing is pretty small. It's saying here it's 188 millimeters length of the fuselage, 215 width, and height is 65 millimeters. So we'll go ahead and cut it out of its case here. It's held in by some little zip ties, it looks like. And there it is. Oh, it looks like it does come with the second battery, which appears to be inside of it. I'm going to flip it over and see if I can open it. Do you push that way or that way to open it? Not sure on, maybe this rotates? Yes, that rotates. So you rotate this little white thing to open it. And then I'm assuming this opens here. Yep. There we go. It'd be easier with a pair of scissors or something. Pull that open. You have to make sure it's rotated in the right position. This opens up here. It's always one of my gripes on these small models is how you get the battery in and out. This one so far is not super easy, but it also doesn't seem to be as difficult as some others I've recently reviewed and tried. So we're going to pull out the battery that's inside it. Looks like it is connected back in the back. So it does have an on-off switch also, which is kind of nice, so you can actually tell if it's on or off. So what I'm going to do, it does come with 2 batteries. I'm going to go ahead and get these 2 batteries, or one of them on a charger, and then charge it up and we'll give it a run. Okay, I didn't wait the full 100 minutes that's recommended in here. I waited about 20 minutes of charging the battery, so I'm not going to get a full flight out of it or drive, but I am going to give it a shot anyway. So I'm going to open up the battery compartment here and try to figure out where this thing plugs in. It looks like it plugs in on the top. There seems to be a little slot that is sized for this connector. Go ahead and put that in there. Of course, it's not the easiest thing in the world to connect, but none of these little quads seem to be super easy to get the batteries in and out. Alright, put the battery in the compartment, close the door, and then turn this little thing to lock it up. Like so. And I imagine it's particularly important to lock this one because it is pretty low to the ground, and if this battery door popped open and you were driving, I would imagine it would mess that up. So one thing I did observe that's kind of cool, I have here 2 Syma controllers, the one that came with it that does not have batteries, and the one that I had for my old Syma X5C. I'm assuming they look exactly the same, and most Syma controllers seem to be compatible with one another. So I'm going to go ahead and just give it a shot and see if this guy will control. This is my old X5C controller. It takes, I believe it takes AA batteries. Yep, it takes 4 AA batteries. And so we're going to see if this one works, and which is great because again, I have a lot of Syma products, and to be able to control with any of the controllers is a nice feature. So I'm going to turn this guy on the bottom, set it flat. Looks like it's got some white running lights in the front and red in the rear. Turn this controller on, and then usually the way you bind these Symas is you push the stick up and then down. Yep, there we go. And now I'm going to give it some throttle. And there we go. And there's our little flying car flying for you. Trying not to hit the camera. Now I'm assuming just like other Symas, let's land it over here for a sec. I'm assuming just like other Symas, this upper left button is going to be our range. Give it high and low. So 1 beep is low range, 2 beeps is high, and then this button on the right is most likely for flipping it. Now as I understand it, so now when it's on the ground and you push the right stick forward, you can see it slides forward or backwards, and this also turns the wheels. So let me show you that again. So this is my yaw. Oh no, actually this isn't my yaw. This is my forward, left, right switch for flying. This also flies the wheels, gives it gas and reverse. So that's kind of cool. So you want to go forward, backwards. So I don't think you use the left stick at all unless if you're driving. You only use it for flying. So I'm going to try something here. I'm going to go off the end of the table and try to take off in midair. So here we go. Haha! It worked. And it will do flips, I just learned. The right top button, just like on other Syma aircraft, causes it to flip. So we've kind of observed how it flies as a quadcopter. Let's see how it does as a car. Okay, so I've just given the batteries a good charge, and I'm going to bind it, and drive it a little bit. It's not the easiest thing to drive because you don't steer it in the traditional way. You only use the right stick when you're driving, so you have to get used to the idea of steering and turning at the same time, or giving it gas and turning at the same time. But on this smooth surface in my garage, it does seem to drive pretty well. Although it is a little hard to control. It isn't super fast either, which is probably good. I'd say you probably need more space than this to actually drive it. It doesn't have a super tight turning radius. It's not too bad. Once you kind of get used to how it drives, it's kind of fun. So just like any other quad, when you turn it on, you want to make sure to have it on a flat surface. let it calibrate for a second or two, then bind it and take off. So my observations about the Syma X9 flying car. First of all, it looks really cool. I mean, it's just, even flying through the air, it looks like it's driving, which I think is a pretty neat thing. Secondly, it's great because the remote control is a standard Syma remote. It works with, if you have other Symas, X8, X5, any others, it seems to be a pretty standard across all the Syma copters, and it's kind of cool that you can use the same remote to fly multiple things. Also, the batteries are compatible with the standard Syma charger, the USB charger, at least for the X5C. So I have a lot of X5C batteries. Not saying that the batteries are cross-compatible, but the charger works on both, which is nice because you don't have to have a separate charger. As a copter, it's a decent flyer. It's not super responsive. It's kind of heavy. Must have motors for the wheels that weigh it down a little bit. But it's still pretty fun to fly and looks really cool in the air. The white and red LEDs look super cool and super bright when they're lit up as it flies. As a car, it takes a little getting used to. The wheels are pretty small and they're just covered with kind of a foam material. They're not really big tires. And the way you steer is not standard, using the left for throttle and the right to steer, but use the right to throttle and steer the car. So you're basically driving it like this. That would be forward and left, backward and right, backward and left, and that's stop. You don't use the left stick at all when you're flying. As soon as you hit the left stick, the props come on and it wants to take off. For the price, I think it's a really great little toy. Very fun, would be a good beginner quad. And certainly if you wanted to come up with some cool challenge races you could do where you drive part of it and fly part of it, I think this would be a lot of fun to have. So that's what I think about the Syma X9 flying car. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please subscribe to our channel, Ready Set Drone, and we'll look for you next time. Safe flying.